Hello and welcome to today's class for PTE Methods class and for writing. My name's Danielle and great to be with you. Sorry about the noise. If you can hear some background noise, I'm having an issue with the fan on my computer. So I do apologise, but when you're actually writing, I'll be on silent so you won't have that noise. So I hope it's not too distracting, but on the other hand, it could be good practice for working under those conditions with background noise. So in the class, we will be going through summarised written text and how to create a sentence, how to summarise, and also looking at the structure for the essay and looking at ideas and planning for an essay, and then looking at a model essay answer. So the class will go for around 60 minutes. And it is recorded. Actually, this class has already, this is a repeat class of Tuesday's class. So if you would like to check anything, go back to Tuesday's class for that same class material. Okay, so let's go to our summarised written text. But before we do that, just to let you know, in case you're not aware, we have this offer at the moment, which is you get a chance to win a 3-month Audible membership. So Audible is an audiobook app and it's fantastic. When you get the 3-month membership, you can access thousands of books, all sorts of books, and they're audiobooks. So ones that you can listen to help your listening skills, but also improve your English at the same time. So in order to be in the competition, you need to upgrade to a bronze, silver or gold package. And the promotion just goes for 1 week. Okay, so let's go to our summarising. So in this class, I can't give much individual feedback, but certainly consider using the assessment tasks on the feedback tab on your dashboard, student dashboard. Also, tutorials are great for getting help with your writing or any other part of the test. Okay, so let's go to summarise written text. And you'll see here that there is a text of around up to 300 words. And so first of all, have a quick look through to get an idea of what the text is about, to start to focus. And then read carefully. As you're reading, start to pick up main ideas, not too much detail. So a summary is just getting those main points. And it could be, for example, some research and what they discovered. Or it could be something that happened in history and a reason or outcome that it happened. So this is, just getting those main points, not too much detail. And also start to analyse. So as you're reading, see what's going on. So you might notice that a lot of information is at the beginning. And then in the next part, it might be a repetition or expansion of that information, so nothing new. Or it could be some new information. There could be some information that is very detailed, full of examples, and we don't need all of that. So while you're reading, you're taking the meaning, getting the main ideas and analysing what's going on in each part. And take down the notes to get the main ideas. And it may be at the beginning, middle, end. There could be a lot at the beginning, a lot at the end. So when you're writing your one sentence, so very, very important, you must write only one sentence. Sometimes people don't realise and they write 2 sentences, 3 sentences. So if you write more than one sentence, you get 0 for the whole thing, because that's the instructions. Can you write 1 sentence summary? So that means 1 full stop only, but you can use commas for sure. And then you're going to check all these sort of aspects of your writing. So the grammar, is it the correct word length? So 5 to 75 words. We recommend 30 to 40 is a good amount. So approximately 30 to 40 words is enough. And how is the vocabulary, punctuation, and spelling. Then make sure you're not adding information, changing information. So your job is just reporting on what's in the text. This is how it's scored. So the maximum score you can get is 7, and 2 out of 7 relates to content. So have you got those main ideas? 1 relates to the length. Is it between 5 and 75 words? 2 relates to grammar, and 2 relates to vocabulary. So that's the scoring. And yeah, there's 3 to 4 parts. So that means 3 to 4 ideas. And we need to link those ideas with linking words. And 2 to 3 of these in the test, 10 minutes each. So let's go to a bit of practice first. And so here we've got some, what have we got? We've got some, our goal to write 30 to 40 words, 3 to 4 main ideas or parts. And we've got some pronouns. So we can replace, instead of repeating nouns, we can use pronouns. And here are some conjunctions, so linking words that we can use in our sentence, possibly at the beginning of our sentence, but certainly we need to use a couple of these. We could also use relative clauses. So we'll look at that in a moment, like which, where, who. And so let's have a look at our sample notes. So these are some sample notes of a text or from a text. So I'm showing you the sample notes first, and then we're going to read the text and you'll add more information. You'll get more information in the text. So here are some, let's read the sentences and look at these words and see if we can find either a pronoun or a synonym to replace them. So covering roofs and walls of buildings with vegetation is a good way of reducing greenhouse gas emissions. So in other words, putting plant matter, putting growing plants, so some sort of plant covering, is a good way of reducing these CO2, these greenhouse gas emissions. And these green roofs, so ones that are covered with this plant kind of covering and walls, make cities look nicer, so more beautiful. They add to the appearance. And research shows that this could reduce maximum city temperatures by up to 5 degrees. So that's pretty good, isn't it? That using this kind of covering could actually lower the temperatures in the city by up to 5 degrees. Okay, so there are our notes from our text. So what is perhaps a pronoun that could be used instead of roofs and walls? So if we had to replace roofs and walls, can you tell me a pronoun that could be used? Let me know in the chat box if you can. So it's plural, roofs and nouns. Anyone can tell me in the chat box? That would be good. So I will tell you it's they. So we can say they instead of covering roofs and walls, we can say they. All right, what's another word with vegetation? I gave you a bit of a clue before. So let me know if you can tell me another word for vegetation. I just want to check the chat box is actually working because I can't see any messages. There we are. Great. Thanks, Manish. Botanic. Yeah, not bad, except botanic is an adjective, so it needs to be a noun. Be careful of that. Plants, yeah, plants, that's right. Plantation is different, Nisha. Plantation is like a whole kind of, like you could have a plantation of bananas. So it's lots and lots of trees. So that's probably a bit too big for a house covering. So plants, yeah. Vertical landscaping, nice. Oh, Muskin, very good expression. Vertical landscaping. So great. And reducing greenhouse gas emissions. So how could we express that in a slightly different way or a completely different way? I can think of reducing, I can think of lowering, but greenhouse gas emissions. I said before CO2, yeah, that's right, CO2 gas. So that's the one that creates the heat in the atmosphere and holds in the heat in our atmosphere. Yeah, carbon footprint, that's it. Very good, Guillaume. And these green roofs and walls make cities look nicer. So make them look more what? Make them look, any ideas? Just a similar word. Yeah, more pretty. Prettier would be better actually. More attractive, Manish. More amazing. Yes, very good. And research shows this could reduce maximum city temperatures by up to 5 degrees. Could reduce. So this may decrease. Excellent, Laura. Yep. Reducing temperature. Yes. Lessen. Very good, John. Yep. Decrease, lower, drop down. Probably just drop. Guhan. Sorry, not Gulen. Guhan. Drop, not drop down. That's a different meaning. So research shows this could drop maximum city temperatures by up to, by, what could we use? A different expression. By, any ideas? The one I'm thinking of is as much as 5 degrees. Actually, it's maximum level, Manish. So marginally, yeah, marginally is good. So it is up to sort of means, yeah, the maximum is 5 degrees. So as much as 5 degrees. Anyway, that's great. So it's good practice just so that you're getting into that, analysing the meaning and working out a few different ways to express things. So we've got roofs and walls, just buildings, or they, vegetation, plants, greenhouse gas emissions, air pollution. Look nicer, look more attractive, could reduce, may result in lower, by as much as, by up to, okay. So that was not too bad. Now we get to the difficult part, and hopefully not too difficult, to join the sentences using conjunctions. So let's, first of all, we have to decide what is going on in terms of the relationship between the sentences. So if we look here and then look at the second one and the third one, are we adding information? Are we saying the opposite? Are we giving a reason or a cause? So let's have a look. Covering roofs and walls of buildings with vegetation is a good way of reducing greenhouse gas emissions. These green roofs and walls make cities look nicer. So what would be the connection between these two? Do you think it's a contrast? Is it a reason? Is it adding information? Any suggestions there? Yeah, it could be a reason, and it could just be and. It could be because, Candace, yes. So we could say, okay, that covering them cities look nicer because they have these coverings. Or we could say these coverings reduce gases and look nicer, make the buildings look nicer. So we could do that. What was the other one that you said? As well as, very good, Eddie. So that's right. You could say the coverings, so as well as and are very similar or same meaning. You're adding a point. And the other one was, yeah, a reason. So very good. All right, now let's look at the last one. Research shows this could reduce maximum city temperatures by up to 5 degrees. So are we giving a reason? Are we adding information? Are we contrasting information? What are we doing here? So what do you think? There's a few possibilities, so don't worry if you make a mistake. Except not that one. Sorry, he said that. So not however, no. So it's not a contrast actually. So it's saying that they make it look that, because this is a positive. It's not a negative. If it was a negative, then yes, you could use however. But I think the fact that most cities get hot and the heat from all the industry or the cars or the activity is not so good. So actually it's a good thing. So I would say and in addition as a result. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, good. Guhan said in addition to those benefits. Now, when we use a word like in addition, even also, we actually need to put and, because usually those linking words are at the beginning of a sentence. And that's fine if we use them at the beginning. But if we put them in the middle, to make it grammatically correct, so it is joining the two sentences correctly, we need and. So, for example, if you said these green roofs and walls make cities look nicer, and as a result, it reduces the city temperatures by up to 5 degrees. Or and also, and in addition, it could reduce maximum city temperatures. So that's quite important. So see if you can get to do that today. Otherwise, you actually do need a semicolon before you use those type of linking words like in addition, furthermore, because they're used at the beginning of a sentence normally. It's like joining two independent clauses. So you need to put a semicolon if you put it in the middle. So just, you can do that, that's fine. All right, so how about although? No, sorry, thanks it. So however and although are actually, the same, serve the same job, do the same job. They have that contrast, whereas there's not a contrast here. It's saying that there is vegetation, it reduces greenhouse gases, it makes cities look nicer, and it reduces the temperature of the whole city. So it's not you don't need the contrasting word, however. So you can use linking words which mean and, in addition, that sort of thing, or possibly a reason like because or so, okay? So good to practice. So let's try this one. So I'll give you 90 seconds now to write in the chat box. See if you can join these three using two linking words. So you'll need one between here and you'll need one between here. One thing though, you can change the order. So you could even start with this one and then you can link to the other two, because it's not like a story where it's this happened first, this happened second. It's just describing a situation. So you can change the order. Right, so 90 seconds to try and link those in, put it in the chat box if you can, and I'll see you in 90 seconds. And let's see if anyone could do that in such a short time. So let's have a look at yours, Raj. Raj said covering roofs, covering roofs and walls of buildings with vegetation is a good way of reducing greenhouse gas emissions. And these green roofs and walls make cities look nicer. And in addition, research shows this could reduce maximum city temperature by up to 5 degrees. Excellent, Raj. So that's perfect. So Raj has said and then as I said, he's carefully written and in addition, comma, and then put the rest. Excellent, perfect, very good. Okay, well done. Let's look at another one. Julia. Julia said, covering roofs and walls of buildings with plants not only reduces greenhouse gas emissions, but also makes cities look nicer, as well as lowering, so it should be lowering the city temperature by as much as 5 degrees. Great. Nice, nice, Julia. So very sophisticated. So Julia's written not only this, but this. So that's another way to link, meaning and, not only this, but this. So very good, well done. All right, excellent, everyone. So yeah, okay, interesting. A nice, very minimalist one from Mali Karjun said, covering plants for buildings, maybe with building walls. No, covering plants for building walls. I'd probably say covering plants, covering plants covering building walls in plants. I think something going on there. Looks fabulous and is good for the environment. Very good. So looks probably attractive. Fabulous is a little bit not academic. It's a bit too spoken English. It's a good word, but it's not as formal, I would say. All right, and let's look at one more. So this is Josephine, putting plants as walls, putting plants on walls, I think. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, as walls, putting plants as walls in buildings could decrease the effect of pollution and make the city more attractive and also make the place colder. Very good, except for that, yeah, not so much maybe putting plants, yeah, on walls in buildings, yeah, on the outside of buildings even would be good. All right, so well done with the linking though, nice. So let's look at some options here. So we've got covering buildings with plants will reduce air pollution, make cities look more attractive and may reduce maximum city temperatures by as much as 5 degrees. So notice here, I've just listed all the positives, all the benefits. So I don't actually need a linking word here because it's just, it does this, and it does this. It's like a list. And then option 2, reduce greenhouse gases, better appearance and reduce maximum temperatures may all occur if city buildings are covered with plants. So again, I've got a list and then I've put a conditional here. So different, probably didn't think of that. So there are many different ways to join these sentences. As long as you're using the parts, connecting them correctly, that's fine. And you want to keep it simple. A summary is meant to be short. It's meant to be straight to the point. It's meant to be very clear and just the main point. So you don't have to worry about making it too wordy. Okay, one more. Let's look at this. Muskan. Research shows vertical landscaping could lower the city temperatures by 5 degrees, and such a coverage makes a city look nicer, as well as reduce the greenhouse gas emissions, as well as reducing. Makes the city look nicer as well as, yeah, I think reducing the greenhouse gas emissions. But otherwise, fantastic, Muskan. I like the way you've started with this one, and you've said such a coverage. So excellent. So you've actually used that word covering and put it into another sort of noun form, coverage. Excellent, excellent. Great job. Okay, so it's not easy, but you're doing well. So good job. And have a look at others to see some ideas. So let's try this one now. So we've got relative clauses. So relative clauses, in this case, we can use what we call extra information clauses using relative clauses. For example, the coffee, which was cold, by the time she drank it, was quite bitter. Now, the important things are here, the coffee was quite bitter. This sentence makes sense without the relative clause. So that's kind of how you can test if you've done it correctly. So what that means is you have to have the subject, the thing you're describing, and then a verb after the relative clause. If there isn't a verb after the relative clause, it's not going to be correct, unless it's the end of a sentence and that's sort of a different type of relative clause. But if you're describing something, so the coffee we have here, then we say which was cold by the time she drank it. So we put right next door was quite bitter. So very important to make sure you got that verb. All right, so let's have a look at some because they're not so easy. For some people they are because they understand how to use relative clauses, but for others it takes a bit of work. So let's see what we've got. So covering buildings with plants, which looks quite attractive. So notice how I've reworded this sentence and I've said which looks quite attractive. When I say which, it means the buildings, but I don't need to repeat that because I've already said here. So this kind of design, covering buildings with plants, this looks attractive. So which looks attractive? And then we've got a verb, has the effect of reducing greenhouse gases and may lower maximum city temperatures by as much as 5 degrees. So put the relative clause next to the thing you're describing, not later in the sentence. Make sure you got the commas and make sure you got the verb. So another one, covering buildings with plants. Okay, so again, this is our subject, which will help to reduce air pollution. So this is our second point. And then a verb, can also make cities look more attractive and may reduce city temperatures by as much as 5 degrees. So try that now in your own words, your choice. You can use any information for the relative clause. You might say, which reduces greenhouse gases. You might say, which reduces city temperatures, or which makes cities look more attractive. So you can add any information using which, as long as you've got it next to the right subject. Okay, so give that one a go. So try that, your turn. So use a relative clause and maybe just one conjunction later in the sentence to make that sentence again. So I'll give you, again, 90 seconds. And that's it. So let's check out a few, see how you went. So let's look at yours. We got Candace. So Candace, covering roofs and walls of buildings with vegetation, comma, which makes cities look nicer, comma, is a good way of reducing greenhouse gas emissions and research shows blah, blah, blah. Excellent, perfect. So Candace has got the which clause, which makes cities look nicer, comma, is a good way. So that's the key. You've got to have the verb after that. So well done. Let's look at yours. Someone called Home. Home. Covering buildings, plants is a good way to reduce pollution. And you need an and. It also makes cities look better and reduces temperatures by 5 degrees. Excellent, that's fine. You just need that and up there. I want to go up here. So let's see. Natsumi, covering buildings with plants, which reduces, so the S, CO2 gas, excellent, makes cities look more beautiful as well as reducing city temperatures by as much as 5 degrees. So structure is perfect, just a few little, grammar corrections there. Now, there was one I was trying to find. I can't see it now. But yeah, see if you can check your own work to make sure you've got a verb after the which clause. Okay, I'm going to go to Sandeep. So Sandeep said, covering buildings with vegetation not only helps to reduce greenhouse gas emissions, but also makes it look nicer, and research shows this could reduce city temperatures by 5 degrees. Excellent. So you don't have to use which, but it is an option. It's just a one way of doing it. It's good to try, but it's not 100% necessary. I mean, it's not necessary. It's just one way. All right, so let's go to writing. So we've done our practice, and now we're going to read the whole thing. So here is the text from which those notes were taken. And so read through, see if you're going to add some different information. So your summary might be quite different from the one that you just wrote. That was just a sample. There's no one way to summarize. I know when I do these in classes with a number of students, everyone has something slightly different, and I'm always surprised. I think, I thought there was only one way, but no, because some people might pick up on this point, others may think that's not so important and pick up on another point. Obviously, this is talking about plants covering buildings, so of course everyone will have something related to that, but what they include may be slightly different and the way they do it. So have 3 minutes now to read through, take notes, and start to write your sentence once more. It might be similar but slightly different from what you've just written. Then we're going to look at the model answer and look at those, and then I'll give you about another 4 minutes to complete. So we'll have a bit less than the full 10 minutes, but you've already had a lot of warm up, so it should help you in terms of getting the ideas and the structure. Okay, so 3 minutes now, take notes, read through, see what you're going to include, and make a new sentence using this text. And don't worry, if that wasn't enough time, there'll be more time in a moment. Let's just have a look if anyone's actually someone has. Candace in the chat box, and also a few people. Okay, so let's just have a look at yours. Ila, is it? Cities like Melbourne, Singapore, Rotterdam, London and Toronto adapted green roofs and walls primarily because of advantages on air, water and energy. Nice, I like it. It is very economical with words, but you have got the main ideas that some cities, and then you've listed those. You don't have to list them all, but you can list some or just mention that some cities around the world. And definitely you needed to mention about the green roofs, which means having the coverings and walls, and the advantages of this. So very good, nice work. All right, so let's look at another one. And let's go maybe someone I haven't read. So Vishaka. Vishaka said, hello, green roof walls now are becoming, so notice the walls, we've got the S, so are becoming more and more popular in the cities like Melbourne and Singapore, not only because they provide environmental benefits, but also have social importance. Yeah, nice. So very interesting that Vishaka has actually picked up on the social aspect, which is written how it can help make it more pleasant for in city areas. So there's no one way, as long as you're getting main ideas and you're picking on explaining them in a sentence, that's great. Excellent work. All right, so a little bit more time now. So we're going to have a look at the draft. So we've got sample notes. So yours might look something like this. Green roofs look good, reduce temperatures 5 degrees. Reduce stormwater, increase biodiversity. Used in Singapore, Rotterdam, London, Toronto. Incentives, grants, awards, certification, sometimes mandatory. You may not have those. You may have different points. That's okay. So decide on the subject, green roofs. Green roofs have been implemented in a number of cities, including Singapore, London, Toronto, where the concept is encouraged in multiple ways. And then we're adding some more. So which look attractive, reduce stormwater runoff, increase biodiversity. Again, you may not include all of these, just some. So that's the sort of stage we're at now. So I'll give you a further 4 minutes only, not the full 7. So just 4, to see now if you can finish your sentence. Yeah, and then if you finish in time, have a look at some others and maybe give them a comment in the chat box. All right, so let's go. This one. Yes, so Asma, very important. It should be one sentence. Thanks for asking. Hello, Vishaka, it is you. So I think, Vishaka, you have your test today. Is that right? So if it is, the Vishaka, I think it is, then yeah, we wish you all the very, very best for today. The next week. Oh, okay, the next week. Sorry, I got it wrong. Okay, that's good. You got more time. So one sentence, Asma, hello. You're welcome. And Asma, definitely. So one sentence means one full stop. You can still have commas. It's only when you have 2 full stops, that's when you're in trouble, because you get 0 if it's more than one sentence. It's a pretty severe kind of punishment. Okay, so let's go to finish your summary now using your notes. So 4 minutes. And that's it. So we'll leave it there. If you're still writing, keep going, or after class. So let's just have a look at a couple. So let's look at yours, Lida. So Lida said, covering roofs and walls with plants will reduce the temperature by up to 5 degrees. Now, very important, Lida, I'm glad I chose yours. So you've got 2 sentences. In fact, no, you've got 2. So it must be just one. So notice how you've got a full stop and then you've said 12 months. So that's a big no-no. So you can't have 2 sentences for this one. Summarise spoken text, yes. Summarise written text, no. So just, yeah, be careful of that. So you could just say, and 12 months of research that a mandatory policy and incentives will encourage to have better air quality and energy conservation. Not bad. Let's have a look. 12 months of research by that a mandatory. Yep. Okay, looking good. Conservation such as in cities such as Singapore, London and Toronto have done. I see, as Singapore, okay, let's look again. Covering roofs with walls with plants will reduce the temperature by up to 5 degrees, and 12 months of research that a mandatory policy and incentives will encourage to have a better air quality and energy conservation as Singapore, London and Toronto have done. Yeah, no, that's fine. It's just that the 2 sentences that I was a little bit scared when I saw that. All right, let's look at this one. So who have we got? Let's look, I think it's Laura. So green roofs and walls, which are being used in main cities such as Singapore, probably have demonstrated, not had demonstrated, just have demonstrated that they can help to reduce air pollution, as well as provide new habitats for biodiversity, and in addition, give a more attractive look to the city. Very nice, very nice. And it's great the way, again, Laura has put and in addition. So then it's grammatically correct. If you just wrote, as well as provide new habitats for biodiversity, in addition, give a more attractive look to the city, it's not properly linked. So when, as I said at the beginning, when using those linking words that normally go at the beginning of a word, of a sentence, like furthermore, in addition, we do need the and in addition or and furthermore. Great. All right, Susan. Okay. So they should get back to you within 24 hours, Susan. Yeah, might be a bit slow if they're busy. If you want to send them another question, if it's urgent, maybe just write in the subject box, urgent, please, yeah, please help. And then hopefully they'll look at that, because I'm sure it's just because they're busy, but should be in 24 hours if you can wait. All right, so let's look at one more. So whose is this? This is, I'm going to try to pick someone different because I don't want to keep reading the same people, even though they're very good. Okay. Yep. No, Candace, I've read yours. Let's look at yours. I don't think I have Muscan, but anyway, let's check that out. So Muscan, cities like Melbourne, Rotterdam, amongst a few others, have been practicing vertical landscaping on buildings to reduce the greenhouse gas emissions and curb the urban soaring temperatures, to not only boost development, but also gain a sound social sense as well as a better visual manifestation. My goodness, your vocabulary is quite impressive, Muscan. Very good. So great work. But if it's more simple than Muscan's, absolutely fine. So summaries are meant to be very direct, straightforward, straight to the point. All right, so here is the total you can get, 7. So give yourself a possible score. If you got, so first one, content. If you got at least 3 or 4 of the main ideas, you may have got more. That's okay. Give yourself 2. If it was between 5 and 75 words, I'm sure it was, give yourself 1. How was your grammar? Do you think you linked your parts of your sentence well, verb tense, plurals, that sort of thing? And then vocabulary, did you use the words correctly? So total 7. Okay, and just a reminder, if you need extra help and you're feeling stuck or worried, please consider a tutorial. It's a really good way to understand how to improve, what you need to work on, and yeah, just some explanations of how things are done. So on to our essay now. Now, we've only got a short time just to get some ideas going, maybe write a plan for your essay, and we'll look at the model answer, and then I'll leave that for you to do after class, write the essay. So let's go to our method first of all. So you get 20 minutes, must be between 200 and 300 words. Make sure you really carefully read the essay question a few times and maybe put it in your own words. That way you'll really get it. And also really carefully check the instructions. So if it asks, do you agree or disagree, discuss both views, because the instructions will be different each time. And then make a plan. So spend 2 minutes, maybe 1 minute, maybe 30 seconds, but do spend that time getting your main ideas for your main body paragraphs, and see if you can work in this timing. So 2 minutes planning, 16 minutes writing your essay, 2 minutes to check. And then have a look at the way it's scored. This is how it's scored. So you get 3 for content. Have you answered the question? Have you followed the instructions? You get 2 for the length, 2 for the development. Have you explained your ideas? Have you got the structure? 2 for grammar, 2 for a range of different words and sentence structures, and 2 for vocabulary, 2 for spelling and punctuation. And then you'll either get 1 or 2 in the test, and you get 20 minutes. It's funny, last night I was teaching IELTS writing for task 2, which is writing an essay. And people always say, oh, we only get 40 minutes to write the essay. It's not enough time. But I thought in PTE, you only get 20 minutes. So IELTS people think it's not enough time, but you guys have to write it in 20 minutes. It is a bit shorter, but it's not that much shorter than IELTS. So it's very good work if you can do it in the time. So let's look at our prompt. And that's good. So let's look at our prompt. So we've got to write on this topic. This is a challenging topic, so it's a good one to get some ideas together because it's pretty confronting. So the pen is mightier than the sword. This is the topic. Change, so this means change can be implemented through persuasive argument or through force. Which is most effective? So this expression, this was started by an author. He was actually a playwright. So he wrote plays and he was an author back in 1800s, an English guy. And in one of his plays and his writing, he said, the pen is mightier than the sword. So meaning that, words, especially written words, can be more powerful than violence. So this is really the question. So quite a general, vague, esoteric kind of topic. So what do you think? Change can be implemented through discussion, through written word, through words, or is it through fighting? So as I was looking up then just before, it said, is it the writer or the fighter is stronger? Is it pencils or guns that are more effective? So this is the strange question. So a difficult one today. So let's think about it. And let's think about, so when we're going to write the structure, we're going to use our normal essay structure. So introduce the topic about, there's sometimes writing, words can be, some people think words can be more powerful, while others think that action and force and violence is more powerful. And then say which you think. But in this one, I think it is, as most PTE essay topics are, argumentative. So I would say how the pen or writing words can be more powerful, and one paragraph about how violence can be more effective in some cases, or force is probably a better word, so physical action. So we need to mention the first reason, explain it, see if we can think of an example, and then think of a reason why violence or force could be more powerful. Think of a scenario and explain it. All right, so let's see if we can come up with some ideas for this one. So we won't be writing the essay right now, but I just want to see if we can come up with some ideas just to get us going. So, broad neutral background statement. Historic saying, pen is mightier than the sword. The discussion is that some people believe, the question is some people believe discussion is more powerful and others believe that force is more effective in getting something happening. So my position is not the sword, but the pen, so that words are more powerful or effective. Okay, so if we think about it, I'll take that back. So any ideas how could words be more effective than violence or force? Any ideas? I'm certainly thinking about knowledge. So if people know a lot about a particular problem or an issue, they could change someone's perspective, change their thinking by explaining reasons, by their knowledge about that topic. Yeah, I like that. Muscan said motivating speeches. So think about TED Talks, think about when you've heard a powerful speech, how that can make you feel. It could motivate you. It could change your thinking, could change your whole life just by the way they're using their words, the message, the knowledge behind it. Yeah, there we go, Martin Luther King. That would be a really good example in this essay, Muskin. So yeah, words from Martin Luther King. So certainly in a positive way, we can bring about change through words. Yeah, so Asma said, pens can change your believing and reactions. That's right. So again, if people explain the background, explain why something should be done or what will happen if we don't do that, then this can make us feel different and make us respond different. Vishaka, knowledge can change the world. Violence may destroy. Oh, that would be a good sentence in your essay, Vishaka. You should write it and send it to me. So, yeah, because violence can destroy. That's what I wrote down. Destructive, hurt, harm. So that's the thing. Words can also destroy, hurt, harm, but violence can be a lot more, I suppose, permanent or damaging, perhaps, in a physical way. Let's have a look. Marietta. Yeah, logical reasoning is a play when we're using words, perhaps. Whereas if we're acting with force and we're acting impulsively, it's not with logical reasoning. Mariella, words can influence us as long as we have freedom of speech. Yeah, very nice. So we want to feel someone can give words, but we also have the freedom to respond. So then it's very empowering. Sandeep, in today's world of social media, where words travel faster. Very nice. So that's another great example for this topic. So I wish we had time to hang around and write it, because that's a great example of social media through words is very fast. So if we want to comment on a political situation or we want to express our views, we can do it really fast and it can be powerful. Whereas violence or using physical force may not achieve anything, or it may not even be possible if we're all kind of locked up in our houses. Next one from Nimal. Persuasive argument can promote a more orderly society, while violence can put the society in turmoil. Oh, beautiful, beautiful words. So it's done with a lot more perhaps respect, possibly, or certainly a lot more, a lot less sort of chaos perhaps than violence. Change perspective using words. That's it, Rajesh. Excellent. Right, so fantastic. So on that note, let's have a look at what I've got. So I've said, not the sword, violent change, wars, devastation to countries and cultures. So there's some really big, powerful examples. Paragraph 2, the pen is slower but less disruptive. So very similar to what we just said. And the summary is what my main ideas, and again, my opinion. The pen is effective and less disruptive, so it's a better option. Right, so let's have a look. So I won't do this now, but we'll, after class, if you want to go ahead and write on this topic, that would be excellent. because it's a difficult one. It's good to tackle the difficult ones. So let's have a look. There is a saying that the pen is mightier than the sword, my introduction. This means that persuasion and argument is a more powerful way of enacting change than forcing a change through violent means. This essay will discuss why it is indeed not the sword, but the pen that is the most effective way to create change in this world. So most effective. So I guess that means most effective at getting something done, getting something achieved. And let's look at body one. So the sword can bring swift change. So just like the person said with the Facebook or social media, it can happen very instantly. Governments are thrown out. Wars. Sorry, this is violence. This is the opposite. The sword can bring swift change. Governments are thrown out. Wars are fought, and changes are made. So I guess if there was action and they removed a government because of something that happened, that would be very dramatic. Injustices can be righted, but at the same time, from different perspectives, it may be that life becomes less just. So when changes happen, it's very tangible. It's hard to change. The sword brings swift change, but often at great cost to the citizens of a country. So this is thinking of it in terms of nations, perhaps war and governments, but you don't have to focus on that. Okay, so let's see the completed essay. On the other hand, using the pen or words can bring change. To bring change is usually a slow process. To bring about change of this kind, one needs to gather evidence and present arguments. People need to be persuaded. However, when change comes, it is more gradual and less disruptive to the lives of ordinary people. So this essay discussed how the sword can bring about rapid but unsettling change, while the pen creates a more rational, slow-paced kind of change. In my opinion, using evidence and rational argument to create change has a less disruptive and more effective approach and is therefore the better option. So 215 words. So a challenging topic, that one. Yeah, that's right. Vishaka has said, despite debate and arguments have larger impacts than weapons as recently observed in the USA. Yeah, true. There's lots of examples, unfortunately, of this kind of topic at the moment in the world. Suren said, international law can help solve problems. Yeah, without war. Such good ideas. Excellent. Very good. Very good. Okay, so that's exactly what this topic is referring to. And often with this particular topic, the pen is mightier than the sword. It is referring to laws and policies, things to do with governments. So if you get this topic in the test, this is the kind of angle to talk about how it affects countries, governments, laws. Okay, so that's it. So let's finish, and yeah, please try, if you've got time, to write your essay, or when you do have time, in case you get this one in the actual test. So we've said here that our position, so many sentences are very simple. X is more something than Y. This means that persuasion argument is a more powerful way. And now here, we've got a compound sentence. Injustice can be righted, but at the same time from different perspectives. And we've got a complex sentence here. Let's have a look. Compound sentence, sorry. This essay discussed how the sword can bring about rapid change but unsettling change, while the pen creates a more rational, slow-paced kind of change. So this is a compound and a complex sentence because we've got the while. So it's good to start to look at your writing and see, have I got some complex sentences? Because you want to have about 3 in your essay to get a really high score. So using words like while, whereas, although, which, like we practiced, they will create complex sentences. Okay, there's something missing. It is content. Hopefully yours won't have missing content. So that's the scoring. And yeah, today we haven't done it. So we'll have to wait until you've done your essay to give yourself a score. And yeah, in terms of the scoring, if you do score yourself today, yeah, if you think you got 15 for the essay, you would definitely be getting a 79, and then less for these PT scores. You need these sort of amounts. All right, so I hope that was helpful in looking at how to write these things, what's important to focus on, and also there's great ideas that we can get through being in this class. It's excellent. Very good, Candice, that's great. Yeah, sure, let's have a look at this. So whose is this? So Namal has written an introduction. Very good. Let's have a look. The importance of choosing persuasive argument or violence, which was always debatable, has now become more controversial. It can be strongly agreed upon the fact that choosing pen over sword has some favourable arguments, but there has always been some contention to it. This essay will elaborate on how persuasive argument can promote an orderly society and how violence can bring about destruction and thus lead to a reasoned conclusion. Very good, very nice. The only thing, you probably don't need to say thus lead to a reasoned conclusion. It's kind of obvious, it's like, of course you will have a conclusion. So I know it's a style of writing your introduction, but I wouldn't include, I'd just say, yeah, this essay will discuss how persuasive argument can promote an orderly society and how violence can bring about destruction, full stop. Okay, all right, great. So thanks for joining and good luck with your essay. And yeah, wishing you all a good week ahead and best wishes to those, thanks Nisha, best wishes to those who have their tests coming up, like Vishaka. So wishing you all the best. And also, yeah, waiting for your essay if you'd like to send me one. And review classes here. So this is where you can find previous classes. They stay there for 2 weeks and then they'll go from your dashboard. New ones come in each day. And this is where you can get some feedback from a teacher and scoring and corrections for writing and speaking. All right, tutorials, group classes, and our YouTube channel, of course, to watch things. And just to remember again, we have this special for the next few days, next 5 days, Time to Shine. So if you are thinking about upgrading to a bronze, silver or gold package, if you do it in the next week, you get a chance to win a 3-month Audible membership, which is, you can check out this website, Audible. It's an app for audiobooks and it's very, very good and would be excellent for listening skills, for vocabulary, and just for, yeah, keeping up some reading. Okay, so any questions, let me know. Nirma, can you share the essay discussion material with us? Oh, okay, especially the essay structure. Sure, do you mean, thanks, Mariella. Do you mean just, the only thing, I can't share it as such, but what you can do if you want is take a screenshot of the essay. That way you can look at it carefully. So I hope that helps. Or you can actually go to, so I'm going to go back to our structure. You can go to your dashboard and it's there. So I'll just put that back to the sample. So if you go to your student dashboard, look up PTE course material, go to the writing essay, you'll see that the same structure is there. So is that what you mean? Okay, Raj, is it a good idea to include opinion or introduction section? Yes, it is. In fact, Rajesh, it's necessary in some cases, in many cases. So if it says which is most effective, it's asking you directly to take a position, then you must put your opinion in the introduction as well as at the end and supporting your points, because if you don't do that, you haven't followed the instructions and you can lose marks for written discourse. And I've seen people who haven't been doing that, they just say, oh, this essay will discuss, both why the sword and the pen can be effective. They haven't answered that question, which one you support. And then they don't get their high score. So yeah, make sure you've got that in the introduction. Yeah, so I hope that's good. Any other questions there? Yeah, Namal, excellent, great. Have a look. All right. Okay, I think that's it from everyone. Any other questions? Yeah, you mentioned in opinion. Great. All right. How many summarised text exercises would there be in the real test? Yeah, so there's 2 to 3 in the real test. So 1 to 2 essays, 2 to 3 of the summarised written text. I've heard people get 2 summaries, 1 essay, 3 summaries, 1 essay, 2 essays, 2 summaries. I've never heard anyone get 3 summaries, 2 essays. I don't think that's the case. Okay, so have a great week and thanks for all your great work. And yeah, see you again soon. Thanks, Muskin. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye. See you. Oh, next week. Well, wish you all the best as well, Muskin. I hope I don't see you here next week. Not that I would love to, but obviously for those who are doing their test, I hope I don't see you next week. All right. Bye-bye, everyone.